Now, can you break down thinking strategically? Like, what are the aspects of that?
Yeah, so I think the first thing that I would do is look at your expenses, because you kind of have to assume that unless you're like really lucky and you're like a grocery store where like everyone's going to buy. Let's assume you're not like a grocery store or one of these companies that has just like everyone's going to them, right? I would look at like your expenses and really look strategically at them, and where can you trim some of the fat and get more lean and more efficient with your expenses. So I kind of talked about that earlier. I think that's the first place to start, and make sure that you're really spending every dollar in a smart way. And then once you've done that, then I would start to look at where's your revenue coming in, like where are the trends, and if some of that is well positioned for online, like maybe you have an online store, maybe there's just ways to improve it, great. But if for whatever reason, let's say you don't have that, then I would start to look at ways to get online quickly, efficiently, and like in a low cost, low painful manner. There are a lot of ways to start, like kind of do like a strategic, iterative project. So kind of like what we did, like when we started our videos, like I was very upfront. I was like, I know we're going to make them better over time. I wasn't worried about making them super fantastic on the first round. So we started with the first round, we got them up, and then every round of videos, we slowly improved them. And the same applies to your website. Like you can install Shopify, you can install Magento for not a lot of money. It's all the configuration and design and, iterative work that takes a lot of time. So you could find a way to start small and grow and build that up. And that kind of applies to everything.
So first shave where you can financially, and then grow progressively. And don't worry about it being, oh my God, this is the greatest. This is the greatest. It's not great in the beginning because you're beginning, and you're going to develop, and then you're going to say, oh, I really like this.
Yeah.
No, I really love this. And cool, let's do this. And it sounds like it can also be fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we just did one right now. We just launched a website. It's infuseclean.com. And it's, we worked with them to kind of come up with a strategy that was like, I think they're a decent sized business where they could have done some big monolithic project to do all these things, but we came up with a strategy with them that was pretty lean and got them up and running pretty fast with a high quality, design and implementation. But it wasn't like so overwhelming that it took forever and cost too much money. So I think there's and that you could go even much smaller than that. I mean, they're decent sized companies. So I mean, for sure, it's fun too because you see things faster. When you try and create a big project with so many things, it might take you a year or 2 years to see results. But if you can do something that you can see results in a month or two and then improve every month, it's a lot more fun.
Now, to see results the fastest, what would you suggest?
I think it depends on the situation. If you have e-commerce today, I would look at marketing and like, advertising and where you're kind of investing your marketing and content and kind of like things that you can easily control, like improving products, like improving the product content on your website, maybe adding more images or whatever descriptions to make them more like, enjoyable for you to look at and want to buy. So things that you can like immediately work on and implement, like content or marketing strategies. So I think those are the fastest things. But if you don't have a good e-commerce website, you need to rebuild it, then I would try and start small, like install these platforms and just start iterating. Just start iterating on it. I think a lot of people, and just come up with a strategy that you think makes sense and then iterate on that strategy. I think a lot of people spend too much time thinking about this like big project and how much it's going to cost instead of just like starting. Like actually a good example is our website. Like we just started iterating on it and now we're at the tail end of finishing up our new website, but we never wasted time on like, how much is this going to cost us? We just knew that we had to do it. And we just started coming up with a strategy that we felt was going to be a good long-term strategy.
Piece by piece. And then you have the big prize at the end. So it's piece by piece.
Yeah. And I think that the challenge is companies, obviously they want to know costs and a lot of times they have to outsource this. Mm-hmm. So there is an element of that, but I think there's ways to kind of move iteratively in like a controlled cost environment, or maybe work with your vendor on like a monthly budget or something like that.
Which, that leads me into now. Are you open to speaking to smaller companies now? Because I know you guys usually work with medium to large companies, correct?
Yeah, I mean, we're open to talking to smaller companies. We're definitely getting more flexible and trying to help smaller companies. There's a certain threshold where it's really hard for us to help them from a financial perspective, like in terms of doing work for them, because we do need to keep people employed and keep our business model going. But I think we're definitely open to talking to people and seeing how we can help, for sure.